All right, I don't know how many of you caught it, but I didn't until I quit for this evening, the evening. The hole, the bore, is supposed to be 1 inch 125, and then all of a sudden my brain clicked over to 1 inch 250. So that's what I was shooting for. Wrong. So anyway, the bore is going to be oversized in it, but I think it'll be all right because I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the bore to the 1 inch 250. The bearing diameter, I went and picked out a bearing diameter out of my stock, and that is 260. And right now, that's just a flange. That bore that we're boring through is actually just a flange that the bearing pushes up against. So I think we're going to be all right. I'm going to measure it here again and see what we're at. One inch 195 is what I'm getting. If that's the case, it'll be fine. Checking it one more time. 97. 1 inch 197. So that'll be fine. So now we bore the diameter for the bearing to fit in. That goes, the depth of that, looking on the drawing here. Okay, so the bearing, the depth of that is 1 inch 762. You know what? So I don't mess up again like that. I don't know why my brain clicked into from 125 to, but it did. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the dimensions down. If I can, in fact, find the magic marker here. There we go. And it's 1 inch 260 diameter. It's bearing diameter. And 1 inch 762 depth. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I just wrote it down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up here on top of the lathe where I can see it, so I don't go ahead and do that again. Oh, I can't believe it. We're off to a good start, huh? Oh well, as long as I can make it work yet, and I'm pretty sure I can. If I would have went all the way to 250, well, I would have still been able to make it work. Would have been 10 thou, so it would have only been 5 thou undersized around the bearing. So the bearing wouldn't go in anyway. You know, that flange is there just to, you know, push the bearing up against. So I'm wiping my safety glasses down. All right, so lathe hasn't been running 41 degrees outside. It was 50 degrees in here when I came out to the shop. I'm going to run it at a couple hundred RPM to get the oil lubricating. Let that run a little bit. And the block is, you know, I had cut it to 2 inches. Well, the 2 inch, I left it heavy, and I left it 200 thou heavy, just in case anything moved around on me. So, I think before I put the hole pattern in, when I get all this bored out, before I put the hole pattern in, I'm going to go back and cut that down to the size that it's supposed to be. We have a diameter to cut on that back side also. Which I'll have to, let's see, we want to go to, all right, 600 I think is what we were running at. All right, now we're going to come in here and we have to set our depth. I'm going to come up to it with the boring bar and zero that out. I'm going to punch in. I'm going to punch in 1.762. Enter. That way, when I get to the zero, I know that that's where I want to be. All right. Okay. And my snap gauge. Get my snap gauge mic over here. I've got the bearing laying here too. Oop, got to get the other next snap gauge. No, wrong. Long, go stand in a quarter. It's just that this gauge didn't feel like it was pushing much in, so, but it's still. You're supposed to pull them over, just pull it over one time, and that'll give you we're at 1 inch 200 right now. Where did I lay my bearing? And this came out of the father-in-law stuff that I had bought when I, yeah. And that, make sure it's supposed to be 1 inch 260. The only thing with this bearing, I'll pull the seal out so that the oil can get in there to lubricate it. All right. We're at 1 inch 200 right now. Three thou under yet, and you can, I'm sure you can feel it yet. It goes right up to that radius where it starts. Oh no, I don't want it stuck in there. I'm just going to take a free pass back in. I don't know what they call out for a press on this. I should look. I think this will be good here, right here. It is about 1.5 thou press. Perfect. All right. So I think I'm going to get a different boring bar. It's not cutting the greatest. I can sharpen it, but I want something that I can get in there a little deeper. Something a little bit bigger. I'm looking. I got a solid carbide one here with, it has inserts in it. I think I'll take that one. I don't know where I scrounged this one up from. I know I've made some. Oops. Yeah, I can see how dull it is right there. I'm surprised it cut as good as it did. I should lay that down here. Needs to be sharpened. Man, where'd my Allen wrench go? Now, set my depth this way, zero that out, and I want to go one inch, 372 deep. Okay, so 1.372. Enter. Okay. I'm going to write the diameter down here so I don't screw up and start cutting the wrong diameter again. And that is 3 inches 500. Okay, I put a new boring bar in. I don't know when the camera stopped, but we're going to bore 3 inches 500 diameter, and we're going to go a depth of 1 inch 372 deep. So, and now I can go back to the RPM that I was at, and maybe even more. With a carbide you can go a little faster. Matter of fact, you can go a lot faster. All right, I'm going to measure that, see what the diameter is so I can put it into the readout. I'm just going to give it a quick measure here. I like my readout being able to put that in, and 1 inch 475. So 1.475. Enter. There we go. And how much do you think we can take at a time? Couple hundred. That was a couple hundred thou. Take another 200. Getting too much stacked up down there on the end. Another 200. That'll take us to, oops, that'll take us to 2 inches. For a 2-inch diameter. I'm going to leave it about 10 thou now, the depth, so I can face the bottom off. I should have been doing that all along. Back in there. Two inches, 200. I'm gonna fill my chip barrel up. I'll have to pack it down a little bit. Okay, that's 2 inches 200. We're gonna go 2 inches 400. My hand will come loose here. I gotta get a screwdriver. I don't know why that came loose. My cross feed hand will come loose. There we go. This will take us to 2 inches 400. And I'm going to just quick check with the calipers, make sure. I was talking about going to the NC, but I'm going to do it all manually, I think. On the manual, as much of it as I can. So we'll get to experiment again with the circular hole pattern on readout. I could do it over on the NC also. It'd be a lot quicker, I think. 2 inches 400. Okay, 2 inches 600. Let's see how warm our part's getting. It's getting plenty warm. That's not a good sign because the heat is supposed to go into the chip, not the part. That means my feed rate's not fast enough. Too much time rubbing. I'll have to rig up some kind of tree panning tool too. Either that or go over to the NC and do it. I could do it over there too. Two inches 800. Hole's getting bigger. He's warm. This will take it to 3 inches. And then we got 500 to go after that yet. Let's get some of these out of here. Come on. That's at 3 inches. I'm thinking about cutting away here and letting it cool down a little bit. We don't want it hot when we get into the final cut. Well, we can take a couple more cuts, get it up to 3 inches 400, and then we'll cut away and let it cool down, because I don't want to make the finished diameter with it hot. So this will take us to 3 inches 200. She's a steaming. Okay, this will take it to 3-4 and then we'll stop. And then I'll go do something else, or I'll clean up some of the chips out of there while it cools off. 300-400. All right, I'm gonna cut away here, clean up some of the chips out of there. And then first I'm gonna hit the E-stop so it doesn't take off on me. And I had that happen, believe it or not, once with I had the vacuum cleaner over here, and it hooked the hose, or hooked the on and off lever here. And I was vacuuming away, and bam, it took off on me. So scared the crap out of me. That's the closest I've came to having an accident on a lathe in 47 years. I've never had any issues. So I want to keep it that way. So anyway, I hit the E-stop now all the time. So, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the chips out of there, let it cool down. It'll take a while for that to cool down. And then we'll come back to it when she's cooler.